Okay, so it's probably about point. .5. Sorry, 0.5. And then so we saw that 6 actually aligned it on the left side. Right? So it's probably 0.55. Right? That's about middle there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the minus is going to be whatever that half was. I'm going to call it as 0.9. No, sorry. Minus 0.9. Nope, that's too far. Let's try minus 0.6. I think that's a little too far too. This thing's a little bit taller than the door we made, right? There we go. So it's about on the ground. Now, here's the tricky trick. I put it on there to use the door as my sort of like number reference, right?
Yeah.
What's its relationship to the door? I'm actually going to get rid of that door, so I'm going to unparent it, delete this door, and now my door's in the right spot.
Right.
Right? Okay, that's my thing. But now let's look at the world coordinates. This actually is 0, right? And 0.55. But this works when you have an object that, say, the pivot is in like a strange place. Is you could put a reference object, go to create empty, right? And I want this game object. It didn't create it at 0, 0. It made it sort of that.
So game object is just like an invisible controller.
It's an empty game object is just invisible in the world, right? And I can add a component to this thing or do other things, but I can also just use it as this point. So let's say I wanted to attach this thing to where this game object is. I can say, okay, I want this door to be 0.55 and 0 from this game object. Put it on there. Game object is at that distance. 0.55 and 0 should put me exactly where this game object is. Just about. Okay, so I can visually place this game object before I put the door on it, and then snap it too, right?
Okay.
There are other more automatic ways to do it, but this is a great way for you to be able to not get caught fiddling with visually lining things up, as you can do it by the numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, that's sort of one of my methodologies. Okay, you guys want to see? I made something kind of at work. I'll do this interestingly. Let's spice it up a little bit.
Duplicate those doors, right? Like it would just be.
Say what?
That we would duplicate that door then, similar to how we did it with the shapes.
Yeah, and in fact, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you. There's a couple of different problems here. Is like if I actually had to duplicate the doors to make 10,000 sets of these, I would have to make 30,000 doors. Right? So basically what we need to do is figure out a way that we want our doors to create instances of this door, right, at will. So when I play it right now, we got nothing. We got a door, we got a red background, and we have whatever this land piece, right?
It looks creepy though.
It does kind of look creepy.
It's The Shining, yeah.
It is kind of The Shining. So we can do, let's try duplicate it. I'm just going to duplicate it twice just so that we can have, let's call this. So you see the prefab down here? I'm going to do this the right way just because later on I don't want to have to. Okay, I duplicated the door prefab down here, right? And now I'm going to select this prefab, go to this door. I'm going to have to bring it into the world. Hold on. Okay, so door 2 is now in here. Right, door 1 and door 2. Right, and then I'm going to take door 3. I'm going to drag this into the world as well. Door 3, we'll move it over here. Right. And I'm not going to fiddle fart with the numbers right now. That's sort of not important. Okay, so we have 3 doors. Now I'm going to go to door 2. We're going to look at the base color for it. And just in a cheap way. You notice that I went to door 2 and changed the color and all 3 doors changed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's because even though this is the color that's attached to door 2, more importantly, it's attached to this material. So all I did was change the color of this material, and it changed all 3 doors.
The element something?
Yes, you see element 0,
Yeah.
door 1, and then when I click this, you see how it turns yellow in my
Yeah.
asset browser, right? So I originally started with like, oh, I'll make this one door red, and it made them all 3 red, right? And it doesn't work that way. So even though door 2 and door 3 are separate, they're using the same material, right? So let's go find that material. Here it is, door 3. If I select it down here, notice the inspector changes to the material, right? So now I can see what makes the material. And I'm like, oh, okay. I can sort of play around with this, make it blue, purple. Like, oh, that's all pretty neat stuff. But it is changing all 3 doors. So how do we fix that? We actually take this door material. I'm going to okay. There's no right click menu for this, so I'm going to hit Command D, and it's going to duplicate it and auto increment the number. Right? Door 1, door 2, door 3, which is nice because now this is going to match our new door system. And hold on, you'll notice that the doors haven't changed yet, right? It's because I didn't actually change the material on the door. All I've done is created 3 new materials, right? So let's go to door 2. You'll see that it says door 1 here. Click this little circle thing, and now I'm going to change it to door 2. Right?
Yes.
Go to
it's like
door
a reference
3. Right.
to the material. Yeah, I get you.
Right. And then change this one to door 3, and now we have RGB doors.
Cool.
Right, and let's look at that in game. There we go. And in fact, I think because I have some color contrast there, I'm going to change the main camera to be slightly, where is it? Slightly darker. Let's go. So it's, actually, right now with these doors, I'm actually going to make it brighter so that they contrast against the background. Okay, can you dig it?
Hopping up and yeah, it's creepy as hell.
Actually, I'm going to go a little darker.
That's straight out of Doctor Who, like the old school Doctor Who.
Yeah. Okay, now let's take this directional light. I kind of feel like the background's a little overpowering the doors because they're not very bright. I'm going to turn up the intensity on the light to 1.5, and now they should be lit a little bit better as far as how they're looking.
Now, can you put some sort of script? I know this might be a question for later, but like how you just made the light brighter. If you wanted to make it look like it's a flickery light, would you be able to put like a wiggle type?
Say something like this, where the doors are flashing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's almost like there's like a light and just kind of almost anthem brightness and darken,
we absolutely can, and in fact, I'm going to get into the first we're going to touch on script just a little bit. We would definitely do that with a script.
Sure, yeah, we can do that next week too. I'll write that down.
Yeah,
we already got a lot of points over the head.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll get through them all. But I'll show you real quickly. Remember, we went to the asset store and I said that I use these visual scripting systems.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I'm going to bring one in right now, so that you can get a feel for the look of this. So there's an update. So I'm going to update my UScript. I haven't used Playmaker much yet. My brain's just kind of wired for UScript right now, so we'll go with that. But I think what we can do in a future episode is like, hey, let's look at Playmaker, and then we'll go make a bunch of stuff, right? Okay, so you see, it's actually a significant import. There's a lot of stuff coming in, right? I'm going to import this.
Yeah, I called that a Twin Peaks vibe.
What, the doors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the little midget guy's going to come out and talk to us.
Right.
It's scary as hell.
Or, 2 girls on big wheels.
Yeah.
Come rolling out. All right, so this will take a minute. Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right, where are we at time-wise?
We've got 10 minutes, I think. We'll just stop. I'll mark it for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Well, we said noon we would stop, right? We have 20 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. have a good time. Okay, so I'll do a couple of things real quick. We're not going to get to actually super heavy gameplay. Okay, I need to actually open this scene again, I think. So let me save my project. It'll save the scene. This happens sometimes. You'll notice I got an error when I tried to import this thing. Right? You see this? It's like a system error. I think I fixed this on a different machine by quitting and relaunching. So yeah, save it. Save all that. Let's relaunch movie. Because basically it needs to recompile all of those scripts again. Twitch example project. Opening up. Twin Peaks vibe. Look at my doors. Okay. So I'm going to kill this asset store window. Get back into this. So now, see in my project hierarchy over here, I've got UScript and UScript project files. That's the plugin I just installed.
Okay.
Okay. Now to use this, you go to Tools, UScript, right? UScript Editor, right? And it'll pop up a window. Enable that. It's great, fantastic, fun times. Okay, don't show this at startup. I'll turn it off just like every time I update. Actually, you know what? Before we get into this, this is a great thing. If you do get UScript, these all link to important ways to learn about how to use UScript. In fact, when I first got this, I went with Key Concepts, and then I looked through the documentation, and then I went through the video tutorials. I was able to reference all this stuff and go back and forth to kind of figure it out. I'm going to try and fast track you a little bit, but let's do a whole thing about UScript like in the next episode or the episode after. Okay? Yeah. I'm just going to show you how I use it right now from a top-line view of like, let's do something like, in fact, let's do this. So, File, save this current UScript. Twitch, doors, test.
You want to put it in the same folder as the one you were working on, or is it okay to
It'll open up default to the asset folder. This stuff I just automatically go through. Assign graph to master game object. In this case, I'm going to say yes. I will teach you why you say no next time.
Okay.
Or at least maybe actually later today. Okay. So I now have a script, and see it says the Unity editor is compiling one or more scripts. Right? It's empty, but it's going to compile it right now. And then in my scene, let's go back to the scene, you'll see that there's now a UScript object in the screen. In the scene, right? And it has this C# script attached to it, right?
Yeah.
Ignore this for right now because we're not doing anything with it. So now you see that this is one of the reasons I like UScript is this actually created a C# script that I can find in here, and I can now open up this C# script, see it over here, and read through it. So if you want to learn C#, you can do this node-based stuff and then go open up the C# script to understand how it put it together.
Cool.
Right? But that's kind of pro mode at some point. We'll go sort of farther.
Sure.
But it's nice because it's pretty straightforward in what it's doing. It's just taking...
Like we're going to do an entire episode on scripting and the different script programs.
Absolutely. In fact, there's probably a couple in there. Okay, now the basic... I'm going to go over to Keynote real quick just so you can understand. I'm going to sort of give you a thing. Let's go to shape. Okay. So the basic flow, though, that you do have to understand this before you get into what we're doing, is the way this works is generally some event, right, kicks off in the world. And this event